Today we're going to be doing AP Calculus section 3.5 and I'll be trying to guide you through how to do curve sketching. So first we're going to be sketching derivatives. They give us a graph of f and we have to find a graph of f prime. We have to sketch a graph of f prime. And in this graph of f they give us the inflection points as well so we can see the concavity of the function. Now first you want to remember that whenever the graph of f is decreasing, f prime is going to be below 0, so anywhere there. And whenever the function is concave down, like here, f prime is going to be decreasing. And then whenever f is concave up, like here, the graph of f prime is going to be increasing. And also remember that when the slope is 0, like right here, the f prime is going to be at 0. So this first section from -9 to -5, they give us in the graph of f, you can see that it's concave down and it's decreasing. So what that means for f prime is that f prime is going to start below 0, and because it's concave down, it's going to be decreasing as well. So we could just start like right here at -9, and then it's decreasing all the way to -5. And then after -5, the function of f switches to concave up, but it's still decreasing, so you know that it's going to be it's going to be below 0, right? So it's going to be increasing, but it'll still be below 0. And then at -3, it'll reach 0 right here. So decreasing, increasing, but below 0. Right there. And then here you can see that it is increasing, so the graph of f prime is going to be over 0, and it's going to be increasing all the way until -1. Right, and then from -1 to -3, you can see it's concave down, so the function it's going to be decreasing. F prime is going to be decreasing. And then right here, the slope is 0, so that means it's going to go from above 0 to below 0. So -3 to 1 is going to be above 0 and decreasing. And then from 1 to 3, it's going to be below 0 and decreasing. Now after 3, you're going to see that it's decreasing, but concave up all the way until 7 right here. So because it's concave up, f prime is going to be increasing, but it's still going to be below 0 because f is decreasing. So all the way until 7. And then after 7, it's increasing, so you know f prime is going to be above 0, and it's still concave up, so it's going to be increasing. Okay, now we're given another function f, and we have to graph f prime again. So it starts right here, -9 to -4. The graph of f is concave down, so you know that f prime is going to be decreasing on the interval, and it's also the graph of f is also decreasing, so f prime is going to be below 0. So start here at -9, and then from -9 to -4 is decreasing and is below 0. Now at -4, that's an inflection point, so it changes from concave down to concave up. So because f is concave up, you're going to know that f prime is increasing. And from -4 to -1, the graph is also the graph of f is also decreasing. So you know that from -4 here to -1 here, the graph of f prime is going to be both increasing because it's concave up and below 0. Now at -1, your graph of f prime is going to be increasing and concave up. So that means that f prime is going to be both above 0 and increasing from -1 to 1. Now from 1 to 9, f is concave down, so you know that f prime is going to be decreasing. And from 1 to 7, f is increasing, so f prime is going to be above 0. So from 1 to 7, it's both decreasing and above 0. Now from 7 to 9, f is concave down, but now it's decreasing, so we're going to be below 0 on f. So from 7 to 9, it's going to be decreasing and concave down. Now you can see that it's my answer might not be like perfect x values and everything, but as long as you have the increasing and the decreasing and all of that, you should be good. Okay, now we're given another function f, and we have to sketch f prime again. So first, let's look at our first interval from -9 to -6. You're going to see that f is decreasing and it's concave down. So what that means is that f prime is going to be below 0 and it's going to be decreasing. So from -9 to -6, -9 to -6, it's going to be decreasing and it's going to be below 0. And then -6 to -2 here, you're going to see that f is concave up. So from -6 to -2, it's going to be increasing. But here, -6 to -4, this is where the function f is decreasing. So -6 to -4 is where it's going to be below 0. And then from -4 to -2, the function f is concave up, but this time it's increasing. So you know that f prime is going to be both increasing and it's going to be above 0. Now from -2 to 3, f is concave down, so f prime is going to start decreasing. But you see from -2 to 0, this is where f is increasing. So from -2 to 0, it's concave down, which means that f prime is going to be decreasing. And from -2 to 0, it's increasing, which means that f prime is going to be still above 0. So now after 0 to 3, the function f is decreasing, so it's going to be below 0 here, and it's still concave down, so it's going to be decreasing. So from 0 to 3, decreasing and below 0. So now from 3 to 6, f is concave up again, but from 3 to 5, this is where f is decreasing. So because it's concave up, f prime is going to be increasing, and at 5 right here, this is where f prime is going to intersect at 0. Now 5 to 6, it's still increasing. F prime is still increasing, but now f is increasing, so f prime is going to be above 0 to 6. Now after 6 to 9, this is where f is increasing, so you know it's going to be above 0, but it's concave down, so it's going to be, f prime is going to be decreasing. Okay, so now we're given a closed interval open interval on -9 to 9, and we're given the graph of f, so we have to determine any x values where f double prime of x is equal to 0. So because this is a graph of f double prime of x is going to equal 0 whenever the slope of f prime is 0. So right here, you're going to see the slope of f prime is 0. So at x equals -5, and then right here, the slope is 0 for a small point at -2, and then all the way down here, the slope is going to be 0 at 1, and then right here, the slope is going to be 0 at 5. Okay, again, we have to see where f double prime is 0, and we're given f prime. So it's going to be 0 right here at -7, right here at -4, right here at 1, and right here at 4. Now we're given the graph of f prime, and we have to determine where f double prime is less than 0 on this interval. So remember that f double prime is less than 0 whenever f prime is decreasing. So we have to find all the values where f prime is decreasing. So from -9 to about -6 is decreasing. And then it's increasing all the way until -2. So from -2 to 1 is decreasing again. And then it's increasing from 1 to 4, and then after 4 it's decreasing again. 4 to 9. Now we're given a graph of f prime again, and we have to determine this time the inflection points of f. So inflection points of f, that's where it changes from concave up to concave down. So on f prime, we know that concave up means that f prime is increasing, and then concave down means that f prime is decreasing. So we have to see where f prime changes from concave up to concave down, or we have to see where f prime changes from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. So from right here at -9 to -7, we have f double prime is equal to 0 because the slope is 0, but it doesn't change from decreasing to increasing, so it wouldn't be an inflection point. It just goes from decreasing to decreasing. And then right here at -4, it does change from decreasing to increasing, so that would be an inflection point. And then at -2, it goes from increasing to decreasing, so that's another inflection point. And then at 0, there's no inflection point because it just goes from decreasing to decreasing. And then at 2, it's going to be decreasing, increasing. And then at 5, it goes increasing, decreasing. Now again, we have to determine inflection points of f, so that's just when f prime goes from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. So here at -4, not at 0, here at 2, and then here at 5. Alright, now we're given the graph of f prime again, but this time we have to determine where f is concave down. So remember that f prime, if it's increasing, f is going to be concave up, and if it's decreasing, f is going to be concave down. So it's decreasing from -9 to -5. It's increasing until -3, and then from -3 it's decreasing until 1. And then from 1 it's increasing until 6, and then after 6 to 9 it's decreasing again. Alright, thank you for joining me today for curve sketching.